Hello. Question for the coach. What lessons did you learn from the first two games with regards to the next one? What has to happen, what mustn't happen? Well, I can't really say a lot of stuff that makes sense now. We've talked a lot about the previous two games, what was good, what wasn't good. I'm just trying to reply in a different way. We're playing against an opponent that individually is equally good as France. They don't have quite as many top players, but still many top players. If you look at Holland, the players that haven't played at all yet or only have played a few minutes, they're all international top-class players, and they have great individual quality, and they always try to find good solutions. So we don't want to allow them that, and in order to have situations ourselves where we control the game, we need to have a top performance physically. Definitely, we have to play against the ball very well, and we also have to have situations and phases where we have the possession ourselves, and that will be very important. Okay, no other questions? Are we done? Out the set pieces, scored against Slovakia, and you don't want to show much everything in the next few games. How did you see the set pieces in the first two games? Did things not quite work as they worked? Yes, we'll save the best for last, so that's why in the first two games we didn't try to do well on set pieces. Question about Nicolas Seiwald. He has played almost all the games under you. What makes him so important, and why do you almost never sub him off? Nicky, the way we are playing, he's had that since he was young. So he's always played like that. He's a great guy. He always tries to improve, always tries to learn something. And for his young age, the way he has played and how he already coaches on the pitch, he has the abilities as a leader, and that's why he has always played. And after Xaver Schlager has dropped out, his role is now even more important because we don't have a lot of players who have strengths exactly in that area where he and Xaver have them, and that's why he plays for me almost always. Marko, you've been listening, so now you look like you can't wait to talk. So this is your third Euros. How are you feeling them, and what is the optimal scenario for tomorrow? Well, there is someone sitting here who was here when I played my first Euros. So yeah, not so great. The second one, there was COVID, so not great. And now these Euros are amazing, super fun in the team camp and trainings, games. It's just lots of fun. And the second question was what exactly? What would be the optimal scenario for tomorrow and for the rest of the tournament? Well, the optimal scenario would be to win tomorrow, and then we'll see. But the most important is the game tomorrow, and then we'll see. Coach, how is Gernot Trauner? Do you have an update on him? Gernot will not play. He didn't train today. He's definitely out for tomorrow. And even in the next game, he won't be able to play probably. But it depends when we would play. I'm really sorry for him because has been in top form so far, both in training and in the games. So he has played in Holland for a few years, so this game would have been one where he would have loved to play. I'm sorry for him, but also for us, but especially for him. But we hope that he might be able to come back during this tournament, so we're working on that together with the medical department. Marko? You also have a special story with Holland. That's where your career really took off. Is that something special for you to play against Holland? And do you have connections with Holland? Yeah, it's a special game, of course. It was like my second home. I went there when I was very young. I I I learned a lot from the country and from the people there. So yes, that is special tomorrow. And he's fluent in Dutch, says the coach. Coach, you talked about the individual class that the Dutch have. Is there anything specific that makes the difference to the games against France and Poland? If you analyze Holland, is there anything that you would have noticed? Well, the Dutch play like the Dutch play. They've ever since Johan Cruyff's times, they always try to play the variable with two very high wingers, Gakpo on the left and on the right. They have different players who can play there, very variable, very flexible. So for us, it's important to to have a good timing there, to play well against the ball. So and then to get ball possession and go for the second balls. That will be very important. Who will get those tomorrow? And yeah, those are pretty much the things that we'll face tomorrow.
Steven Verschappet, Dutch newspaper NRC. Mr. Rangnick, how influential has Johan Cruyff been on you as a coach?
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
How influential has Johan Cruyff been on you as a coach?
Wie dich Johan Cruyff beeinflusst hat.
Ach so, sorry. Very much so, to be honest. I was a big admirer of him as a player, to start with. That big that I even asked when I was a young player, when I was 15, 16 in the club, in the team for which I played at that time. Normally the numbers on the shirt were 1 to 11, and I asked my coach if I could play with number 14. And he allowed me to do that because I was the team captain at the time, and that was unusual at the time. So, probably similar to Franz Beckenbauer in Germany, somebody who had a lot of influence on the development of football in his own country, not only as a player but also later on as a coach.
Hi, Stan Bachman, nu Dardanel from the Netherlands. Question for you, Marko. I spoke to some of your former teammates at Twente about you. What's your best memory of your time in Twente?
Auf Deutsch, Marko, bitte.
Auf Deutsch? My best memory? Where? When I used to play in Holland?
Yes, Twente.
Also meine Erinnerungen damals.
My memories from back then, well, a lot of them. I was a winger at the time, not a striker. I was very fast, now not quite as fast anymore. Well, no.
Holländer sind sehr familiär.
Dutch people are very nice, very.
Die haben mich sehr gut
I,
aufgenommen
I lived with a host family. They
alles, was ich dort erlebt habe,
treated
in
me
3
very
Jahren,
well, and
war für mich
everything in
wunderschön
those
und
3 years
sehr schönes
was
Erlebnis.
great. Was a great experience. Also the stadiums, the fans, how they live football. That was unique for me. And yeah, I took a lot from those 3 years in Holland. Coach, is it relevant for you whether you finish second or third, or is it only important to go to the next round? Is that relevant for you?
Am liebsten würden wir noch Erster werden, aber
Well,
dazu
yeah,
müssen
I'd
wir
prefer
gewinnen und
to
Frankreich
finish
nicht.
first, but we
Ich
have
meine
to
nicht so sehr
win
wahrscheinlich,
and
aber dass
France
beides gut ankommt.
shouldn't, and I don't think that's very likely for both
Natürlich
of
würde ich
these
dann
things
als
to
nächstes
happen.
gerne Platz 2
So
wählen, dazu müssen wir
yeah,
gewinnen.
then I would
Und
would
alles,
take
was dann Platz
the
3
second place.
ausmacht,
Then we
ist
would
noch
have
zu
to win,
kompliziert. Das habe ich
and
mir
yeah, it's
angeschaut,
too
habe es
compl.
dann
The third
aufgegeben und
place is too
abgebrochen, was dann
complicated.
das
I
Hälfte.
looked at it, but then
Entscheidend
I
ist,
gave up
dass
because
wir
it's
dabei
just so
sind weiterhin im
complicated. But
Achtelfinale
the
und
main thing is to
alles weitere
get
dann
to the round of
morgen nach dem
16,
Spiel oder
and
allerspätestens
then
dann
tomorrow
Mittwoch nach
after the
den
game
letzten
or
Spielen
on
der
Wednesday after the
Liste.
last few games, then we'll
Meyer, dann
see.
Christian Hackel, dann Florian Haselmeier, dann Kollege Haselstein und dann der Kollege im schwarzen Shirt.
Du bist aber heute gut drauf, wenn du noch so viele Fragen zulässt.
Oh,
Das war schon mal
you're
anders. Ja?
5 more questions. You seem to be in a good mood there, if you allow so many. Well, yeah, why not? The mood is great. Marko. So let's talk a bit about Holland again. You played with Twente. What makes Dutch football so special for you? And is there anything that you learned specifically in Holland?
Ja, ich würde sagen, die Technik.
The technique.
Ich habe sehr viel dazugelernt
I learned a lot
von der Technik, vom Ballannahme, Ballmitnahme.
technically how to
Ich denke, das war
deal with the
was
ball.
ganz was Großes, was ich mitgenommen habe
I
von
think
Holland.
that was the main thing that I took from Holland. But yeah, it's a country that
Fußball spielen liebt,
loves
immer den Ball haben wollen,
football. They always want to have the
durch die
ball.
Reihen spielen wollen.
They always want to pass the ball. And there are a few players who go one-on-one, so I learned those ones-on-ones there as well.
Holland im Fußballerischen
Holland
hat in sehr viel Einfluss.
has had a lot of influence in terms of football, and tomorrow I expect an opponent that is very strong in terms of football. Marko, it's David's birthday today. What did you do for him? And given that he can't play at this tournament, would it be a wish to play a World Cup with him, maybe? Well, that's what the coach has to decide whether I will still be in the team by then. I can't decide that. But yeah, we have experienced a lot together, David and me. And at the moment, I think what he needs and what I hope for him is health. We want to see him back on the pitch as soon as possible. We need David, Real Madrid need David, the fans, the media, everyone needs David. So I wish him lots of health. And this morning it took a while with the congratulations because I'm not in a good mood normally in the mornings, so it was a bit difficult for me this morning to go and hug him. But when I go back, then I think we'll have a cake for him, and I can't really say more about that. The coach is next to you. Will Marko start tomorrow? Yep, that's well possible. And only one question, please. Marko, you played against Poland. You were very emotional. It was your 115th cap or so. Was it one of your most emotional ones?
Kann sein. Ich habe schon nach dem Spiel
Yeah,
erwähnt,
maybe. I said it after the
meinem
game.
Vater ist nicht gut gegangen.
My dad wasn't feeling well.
Einiges nicht
He
dabei sein und
couldn't watch a few
war eine
games.
harte Zeit für meine
It
Familie,
was
für
a
mich.
tough time for my family, for
Gesehen habe im
myself.
Stadion
And now I saw him back in the stadium, smiling. That gave me extra motivation. And then I even scored a goal. And when I saw him there, he was far away, but I think he had some tears in his eyes, so that's why it was very emotional.
Von der Süddeutschen Zeitung. Ich hätte eine Frage an Sie beide.
Questions
Vor
from
2 Jahren, als
Germany.
Sie angetreten sind, Herr Rangnick.
2 years ago, coach, we didn't really know what the relationship between the two of you were, and now you appear in ads together. Can you talk about the relationship between the two of you, how the last 2 years have developed between you? A question to both of you, please.
Ja, ich glaube, dass Marko selber, und wir haben da neulich auch selber drüber
Marko,
gesprochen,
yeah, we recently talked about it ourselves. When Marko heard that I'd become boss here, he thought, ooh, this might be a bit tight now. But I didn't see it like that. I didn't quite understand why it was seen like that. And that's the reason why he's not only sitting next to me, but he played from the start against Poland and possibly tomorrow as well in such an important game. He is a very important player for us with his experience and his qualities. And if he is really fit, and it's very important that he is really fit and healthy now, he can make the difference. He's still fast enough on the wing, not on the wings, but definitely for the center. And he has all the qualities that a central forward needs. And as an example, the game against Italy, I don't know if you could have played much better than Marko did. So I'm very happy to have him. And I don't know what's going to happen in 2 years, but if he's still as fit as he is now and he takes care of himself, then I wouldn't rule it out. If Ronaldo with 39 and Pepe with 41, if they can still play, why shouldn't be able to for Marko to play in 2 years at the age of 32? Oh, thank you very much.
Muss ich auch noch antworten? Also, ich glaub, das
Do I have to answer as well now?
Also wie gesagt, am Anfang,
At the beginning, well, yeah, the coach never understood it, but
war es so, dass ich gedacht habe,
I thought
Red Bull Schule
that now the Red Bull school is coming to us, and now it'll be a bit difficult for me because I had never done the pressing game in my career, and I thought the coach might have different plans. But in the first meeting, he told me that I'm important for the team, and ever since then, we have had an incredible relationship. Let's just call it a relationship, kind of like.
My name is Johan, and I'm from the Dutch newspaper Algemeen Dagblad. Question to both of you. First, for you, Marko. You played last season with Stefan de Vrij and Denzel Dumfries, and you know for long now that you will play against them.
Davy Klaas.
Davy Klaassen as well.
No.
Yeah, but he's not here.
Yeah, no, but he's still Dutch.
Okay. Did you have contact with Stefan and Denzel about this match? And what did you tell each other? And the question for the coach, Rangnick, I guess it was you who said leadership is also about inspiring the people around you. How would you describe Marko Arnautovic as a leader and as a captain?
Soll ich beginnen? Okay. Also, ich habe Kontakt zu den Spielern, natürlich.
Yes, I am in touch with the players. Yeah, we talk a lot together when we're at the club. Stefan and David Klaassen were, we can say, like twin brothers at the club. I only saw them on the pitch, but with Denzel, I have more of a relationship. He's a friend of mine. We talk on the phone, we message each other, and yes, we talked about the game as well. And if you know Denzel, then you know what his answer is. He wins every game, and he's the best and the strongest. But that's exactly what I like about him. And I didn't reply to that because during the season we talked a lot about this game. I'm just being attacked here. We talked about this game, and we always talk about it and make fun of it. But we are friends. But for the 90 or 95 minutes tomorrow, we won't be friends. But before the game and after the game, we're big friends. And same with Stefan de Vrij. Yeah, we've talked a lot about Marko's qualities, and if you see him here, and he had an interview with Dutch television completely on Dutch. So I asked him, how many languages do you speak? He said 6. So even with my local dialect and Austrian accent, it's about 2.5 maybe maximum. So yeah, so I don't know many players in my 30 years of professional football who would know so many languages. I know Upamecano and Konate. I tried to tell them that it's a gift, but yeah, you play there for what, 3 years? After 3 years in Holland, when it's quite a while ago, and he can still be fluent in Dutch and have an interview on television. So that says a lot about intelligence and eloquence. So that's why within the team he is not only popular but also respected. I th I think it's also normal. That's the same for me and Marko. Though we have matured as a father, as a person. We've had talks about his dad, my dad at the time. So that is what makes him. And I not only do I like him as a player, but I respect him also as a player. And I think the team does the same, and that's why he leads the way he is, and that's a good way. Three more questions.
So we have one remote question from Faisal Salah. You have the floor now, please.
Hello, Salah Faisal from Al24 News. The question is for Mr. Rangnick. It's the first time you take this experience with the national team, because before you take just clubs. So what is the difference? And you did a great work and job with Austria. Thank you.
Ja, ich glaube, die Frage haben wir auch schon öfters gestellt bekommen oder ich gestellt bekommen. Der Unterschied ist ja
question quite a bit. The difference is that you don't have the players with you every day, only every few months, or now at a tournament like for a few weeks in a row. And then it's important to use the short time that you have together in a very effective way. I would say it's a bit like a crash course. So everything that you have 5 or 6 weeks time at the club level has to happen within a few days. Here, it's important to know how you want to play so that the players don't have to learn something new for every game. So those are the main things, but it's also important to keep in touch with the players in between, and we always try to do that by visiting each other. So when Marko was injured, I went to Milan to talk to him, so to talk with the medical staff to make sure that he can be here. So yeah, keeping in touch in between, that is also a very important point. So to have this personal relationship with the players, so to go in and then back out on the group, so that we keep that. Coach, we've already talked about the birthday boy. How close is David Alaba as a non-playing captain to you, and how did you congratulate him today? I was awake a bit earlier than Marko and me normally, because this morning I had a really good and intense yoga strength session. De Jong, he is with us, and that really did very well. There was the first PT session where I felt better afterwards than before, which doesn't happen very often. And then I saw David at the video session, and then I wished health and to be fit soon. And hopefully tonight around dinner we'll have a possibility to have a glass of water. And yeah, I try to keep him in there as much as I can. His rehab is the most important thing, but we talk every day about the upcoming games. Coach, before the game against Poland, you said the yellow cards don't play a big role for you. Is it the same now, or are you thinking now, because you have 7 players who are on a booking? Yeah, that's not good, but it is what it is. In the first, we already got 5. In the second one, we only had 2, but in total, that's still 7. So tomorrow, apart from Gary, not everyone is ready. But we have to see that we qualify for the round of 16, and 98.6% we might be qualified, but that's not 100%. So we have to play the game knowing that we need at least 1 point to be absolutely certain. So the way we play is normally not designed to get 1 point, but yes, there are players like Marko is one of them, and then there are a few others who will need later on in the tournament. But if you think too much about that now, then you're just having the problem maybe a game later. But I still hope that the games will be clever enough tomorrow, whether it's worth it, so that we don't get any silly yellow cards. That would be the most important thing. Last question. Question from Germany. The Dutch fans are have a very good atmosphere. What kind of atmosphere do you expect tomorrow? Maybe will it be more like an away game? Well, I don't really think that. Our fans are very vocal, and we have a lot of them. And against Poland, yeah, maybe there were a few more Polish fans in the stadium, but after Marko's goal, you didn't hear them that much. You only heard the Austrian fans after that. So, and then I can't distinguish between red and green, so I probably won't be able to distinguish between orange and red tomorrow. So thank you very much. So bye, see you tomorrow.
Press conference of the Netherlands in 1945.